Bros, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. So I feel like maybe I jumped the gun a little bit on my top 10 spring list. I did it and it was feeling good, man. Weather was perfect. And then here recently it's been below freezing again.
Huh?
So yeah, it got cold. But it's warming up. So that means it's spring for real, dude. Somebody watching this right now in Texas, like, what? It's freezing. No, it was still hot. 10 fragrances that I need in that springtime collection. All of them linked below. We begin with Bleecker Street. Bleecker Street. I love BS. Bleecker Street. This right here, my favorite, Bond number 9. Everybody knows Bond number 9, just chock full of non-stop hits. Although when they get it right, they do seem to really, really get it right, to be fair. So this has always been one of my favorite springtime fragrances ever. Like, ever. It's very green, hence the coloration on the bottle, which is mainly green, also purple. But yeah, this stuff right here is like the quintessential springtime fragrance. It has kind of a grassy aspect to it, some suede leather as it dries down, blueberry off the top. And if I were to get rid of my entire Bond number 9 collection, which frankly it's too big, man. I have too many Bond number 9 fragrances. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna level with you here. I don't need like 95% of them. But if I did have to go and reacquire the ones that I really wanted, this would be the absolute first one that I pick up. Now, one thing that I would be remiss if I did not mention when it comes to Bleecker Street, it smells pretty similar to Purple Label by Ralph Lauren. And if Purple Label was like every single other men's Ralph Lauren fragrance in existence and you could find it for a really affordable price at discounters compared to full retail, I would say, maybe just scoop that one up. As of this video, $136 is the full retail price for Purple Label, but it's showing notify me when it comes back in stock on the official Ralph Lauren website, which is not usually a good sign. That usually means, and another thing, Purple Label, the performance is not great. It's better with Bleecker Street. So for me, I just roll with this. Although Purple Label smells amazing also. This is my jam. Where to next? Right here, Gentleman Eau de Toilette Intense. Brother, if you like iris in your fragrances, which of course you do, right? Yeah. Then this right here, this is the jam for springtime. It actually smells a little bit similar to Dior Homme Eau, which is discontinued, has been for a while. Good old Dior, thanks buddy. I really appreciate you killing off those fragrances. It's real good, it's nice. Dior Homme Eau was the go-to springtime scent for people who love that Dior style of iris, or I guess we would say what used to be the Dior style of iris because they've kind of moved away from that. But yeah, Dior Homme Eau basically took that whole vibe of the original Dior Homme, freshened it up, but still kept the classiness right there in the bottle. And it was really, really good. Unfortunately, like I said, discontinued, so much more expensive nowadays. This is kind of like a more modern reinterpretation of that style that Dior Homme Eau had. So you still have that kind of creamy iris note in here, front and center. Officially, they say it's a blue iris in here, and it's freshened up. So it's made more wearable for springtime. It's not so freshened up that I think it's like a middle of summer type vibe. For me, it's firmly spring is when it's best suited, and maybe fall. And I know everything has moved on from this to Gentleman Society, but this right here, the Eau de Toilette Intense, still rules for summertime. Springtime. Why did I say summertime? It rules for summer! God, stupid. Demeter up next. This one by Velixer. And this is very obviously a springtime fragrance because you see the bottle is green. Okay, that's good. I have other green bottles coming up too. I think this is a prerequisite for a lot of brands. They're like, well, when would you wear this? I guess spring. Put it in a green bottle. So this right here, about 45 bones. That's the price from JOMASHOP. Presentation is really nice. Atomizer really nice. And this is inspired by the fragrance known as Torino 21. It has a massive blast of mint off the top. So you gotta be down with that mint note. If you're not, it's probably not gonna be very appealing to you. Thankfully, I have always loved Torino 21. So anything that's like in that style, as long as it's done well, I'm gonna really enjoy. Super brisk, a little bit leafy, the way that the mint comes across, so it has a little bit of that like taking a mint leaf and doing this in your hands and just huffing on it. Like you have mental problems and the only thing that will solve it is sniffing on some spearmint, peppermint, minty mint. And this one got a big old blast. As far as the Torino 21 dupes that are out there, this one right up there toward the top, if not the best. Where next on our tour de fragrance? Let's go with this, because it's also green. Paradise Gardene. This is, of course, in the Beau line by Jean-Paul Gaultier. And for me, in the whole Beau lineup, if I were picking just one for spring usage, this is the best one. I think the original Beau is probably the most versatile of the entire bunch, along with maybe the Le Parfum, but Le Parfum in the middle of summer, during the day, probably a bit too much as far as how heavy the sweetness is in that. But like I said, just straight up spring, day or evening, Paradise Garden, this is the one to get. It has fig, coconut, aquatic notes. It's fresh, it's sweet, it has that tropical edge to it. It's not as creamy as Le Beau Le Parfum. Big attention grabber, tons of potential compliments with this fragrance, and it is really superior to the two fragrances that came after it. Flower Edition, which I feel like a lot of that one, the name just kind of wasn't that great. Flower Edition, I'm so excited, said no one ever. One bro like, I was excited, that sounded really good. I love flowers. And the scent is actually not that bad, Flower Edition, it's just this is better. And then this year's Le Beau Narcisse, for me, Paradise Garden clears that like all day, every day, every day. On a leap year, that extra day, that one also. So Paradise Garden, can't go wrong with that. Springtime, perfect. Perfect! What time is it? Code time! Here they are. The JOMASHOP codes. They have changed. Yes, they have. So we got those new ones in. These are the new JOMASHOP codes that you can use for this entire quarter. They only work within the JOMASHOP app, so make sure that you use the app to use those codes to save some money. And then also have these other codes as well: Gift Express, Fragflex, the Perfume Box, Beauty House, and many more. So anytime you shop at those stores, use those codes, save yourself some cash. And if you're looking for niche fragrances, a lucky scent. Got a code for there too. Check it out, Green Irish Tweed. Interestingly enough, Green Irish Tweed is the only fragrance here that has green in the name, but then the bottle is black. Bruh. Or I guess, could you say, nah, that's black. I was wondering if you could say like it's a really ultra, super crazy, ultra deep green, but no, it's just black. Although if you get like a smaller size bottle, a little sticker is green, so there is that. And I do have a smaller bottle of this, so I probably should have just got that instead of this one, but who cares? Green Irish Tweed is another quintessential springtime scent. It is quite mature at this point because the fragrance is 4 decades old. That's pretty old right there, man. Yeah, Green Irish Tweed has been around for a minute and it smells similar to a few other fragrances out there. Cool Water by Davidoff, Aspen by Coty. So it has that classic style to it. You gotta love some of these Creed bottles. That's good, that's high quality. Back in the day, they used to come in the 120 ml flasks, which I thought were really cool. The caps used to not click into place, they slid into place, and then eventually they made these newer ones that do click into place, but then they make that noise. I'd buy that for $1 or 500. Creed prices. It's good. This stuff friggin' rules. I love Green Irish Tweed. Very green, obviously brisk and fresh. Has a bit of a soapiness to it, that classic fougere styling as well. So, you know, as that barbershop cleanliness kind of flowing through the fragrance as well. If you're looking for something that is hyper modern and, you know, overdosed with vanilla and stuff like that, it's gonna smell dated to you. But as far as just a classy, masculine fragrance that is perfectly, I mean absolutely friggin' perfectly suited for spring, you can't go wrong with this stuff. It smells like you're hanging out at a country club. Nice. I would not fit in a country club. You know my extent of golf? Top golf. I can usually make somewhat decent contact with the ball at Top Golf. You pluck me and put me onto a golf course, I'm cooked. They'd be like, okay, you want to hit it this direction about 200 yards, you want to aim for this and, you know, this and that and the wind and this, and I'd just be like, I'm gonna be lucky if I can make solid contact here, bro. I'm not sure which direction it's going. I'm gonna aim my body that way. We'll see what happens. I might hit this little old lady over here. It might go into that lake. I don't know. We'll give it a go. Polo 67, Eau de Parfum. So this little dude right here, you may think of as more of a summertime scent. You know, oh, it's a blue fragrance bottle, Polo 67, summertime. Would it work in summer? Yeah, yes. Does it also work in spring? Yes. That's because this has a really nice, robust, modern woody dry down. So it sticks around, lasts for a long time. It's very clean, it's fresh, has a really nice fruity opening that grabs attention as soon as you spray it on. It can work when it gets warmer toward the end of spring. It also works at the beginning of spring because it does have a little extra staying power compared to the eau de toilette. So even when you have those kind of cold snaps that come out of nowhere, can still rock with that. And Polo 67 is just that type of fragrance. You can wear it anywhere, anytime, any place. It really does not matter. Works safe, great casual fragrance, great day-to-day scent. And it's not crazy expensive either, being a Ralph Lauren. Yeah, we talked about that before with Purple Label. One thing I always hated about Purple Label, by the way, the atomizer is a trashamizer. Check it. Terrible. It even looks like an atomizer you'd find on your mom's hairspray bottle or something. Fragrance rules though. Purple Label, Ralph Lauren, bring this back. Or give it a proper actual release all over the place, you know? Make this a line. Oh, yeah, think about that. Purple Label Elixir. Now we're cooking. We need another green bottle. It's not green enough up here. Ether Extrait, French Avenue. So this is of course inspired by Greenley by PDM. Has a nice cut glass bottle, so elegant, so classy. Actually, it smells pretty good for the price, and it smells similar to something way more expensive. That's the draw here, yeah, of course. And it has Extrait in the name, so that means it lasts. Them's the rules. As always, the warning, when I first got this, it was not good. If you buy this fragrance, you spray it on, and it smells like rubbing alcohol and nothing else, don't worry, you have not been duped. Get it? Yeah.
Classic pun. I know.
That's just how it smelled, at least for me. Came back to it a while later, let it mature in the bottle. Way better. And when I say way better, I'm talking about indescribably better. It was legitimately awful. Like I felt like it was like bug spray. But now, really, really similar to the PDM. Of course, very fresh, green. A little bit of that apple shampoo-esque vibe that Greenley is really well known for. Great longevity, perfect for cold spring or later warm spring, or all of the fluctuations in between, depending on where you live. And Lattafa has a version of Greenley as well. That one is right over here. This one's called Sharif. It's really well done also. I do think presentation-wise, the Ether Extrait is better. This one, for some reason, has always felt just kind of like cheap to me, cheap. And one of the main differences between these two to me is that the Lattafa is noticeably sweeter. So it has way more of a lean towards the sugary side of things, whereas Ether Extrait here keeps it a little bit more balanced, but it really depends on what you're after. If you're after more of that sugary side, check this one out. I think overall the better between those two is this one. Terre Eau Givrée up next. You gotta have a Terre You gotta have one. And it used to be, it was Eau Très Fraîche. You know, that was like the go-to spring, summertime TDH. And you could make an argument for some of the other Terre the original one, for example, being a really solid springtime fragrance. Even Eau Intense Vetiver, to an extent, you know, you could roll with that one. But for me, I'm gonna go Eau Givrée. Now it works just as well during the summertime, but during spring, it's really nice because it gives you a fresh woody fragrance that has a really well done citrus off the top. So citron officially is the top note, and it's gonna give you this somewhat rindy citrus note. So it's not full on like sugary bergamot and grapefruit like you would find in a whole lot of designer fragrances, especially modern ones. The citrus here mixed with those woods has more of a dryness to your nose. It still has a nice sparkle to it. It's got good lift, but it comes across dry rather than like extremely juicy. So it has more of a classiness, you know, it's a little bit more refined, you could say, slightly more mature than your typical freshie. And it's another one that you can rock spring, summer, or fall. Good stuff. Mazaaj Rhythm by Zimaya. Now this one smells similar to Louis Vuitton's Symphony. Presentation, pretty nice, just like a little cube. I don't know, looks like something you might find in like a role-playing game or something. You gotta take this and figure out where to put it, opens up a door or something like that, you know what I mean? Like in Zelda. Maybe not, maybe it just looks like a bottle, but that's boring. Boring. Now the fruit in here, very different from in here. This one is gonna be sweeter. It's gonna be a little juicier. Still very fresh, has a nice uplifting airiness to it as well. Also gets compared to Codlodge Island Dreams, which is really, really well known. Between the two, I prefer this one. Both of them are extremely affordable. So I mean, if you have that one, it's not like you got the bad one and it's, you know, night and day difference or anything like that. This is not like insanely stronger than that. It's just given the choice, I prefer this one a little bit just as far as the overall quality is concerned to my nose. But what I'm saying is if you already have this, you don't need the Codlodge. If you already have the Codlodge, you don't need this. You are absolutely doubling up for no reason at that point. But yeah, if you're looking for a symphony alternative that is unbelievably affordable compared to the original, this stuff absolutely crushes. Also good for summer. And we're gonna wrap things up with Paradigme by Prada. Yes, Paradigm. I had to finish a green bottle, you know. Green. This one's slightly darker green. Ooh, gradient, black at the bottom. Now, I will say when it comes to Paradigm, if you have a bunch of fragrances and you smell this one, especially when it first came out, you may have been underwhelmed. I certainly was. But if we're judging this on just how much people like it, and they freaking do, they love this stuff, and how much you can get out of this bottle as far as usability, man, it crushes. And it is that type of fragrance that grows on you. I will say that. Definitely does. Now the opening I always liked, even when this is like brand new. It has a nice green touch to it. Again, the bottle color and all that. Bergamot officially off the top. Also has musk in here, geranium, Peru balsam, and benzoin. And it's kind of interesting because it's right there in the same wheelhouse as stuff like YSL Myself, and to an extent, you know, the Polo 67 line, though if you put them side by side, none of them actually smell like each other. It's kind of like if you take Dior Sauvage, Bleu de Chanel, and YSL Y. You put them all right next to each other, you can go clearly, yes, all three of these are blue fragrances. And if you smell all three, you'll be like, yes, all three of these smell like their own thing. That's kind of what's going on with Myself, Paradigm, Polo 67, fragrances of that ilk. They don't have just a quick little neat name like blue fragrances to shove them into, but they're kind of doing the same thing, if that makes sense. This is unbelievably safe, extremely modern. The only real drawback here is the performance is so-so. So if you're looking for something that is a monster that's really gonna last forever, that's not really this, but that's also not the type of fragrance that it is. It's trying to be clean, it's trying to be elegant, but also wearable in casual situations as well. So there we go, guys. These right here really help complete that spring collection. A little bit of everything. Stuff on the very fresh side of things, stuff that's extremely green, and a little bit of everything in between. I wanna thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. Hopefully wherever you are, the weather's feeling nice. I hope it is. See you guys.